Alrighty, traders. Let's see if this is going to work now. It seems to be a bit of lag and so on and so forth. Anyway, first day streaming back live for a few days, or for actually quite a bit of time now. But I want to do a live stream for you guys. So hopefully this is a lot better for you guys for doing the live stream. And hopefully the settings are much better now and things are good to go. So that's what I want to do today, guys. I want to get into a market update live for you guys. And I want to go through all of that stuff as well too. So if you haven't done so yet, guys, make sure you go down to the johnsfreegift.com to grab this free trading course for free. I promise you're going to really get a lot out of this trading system or trading course here. So go get access to that, guys. johnsfreegift.com. Actually, the very first video you get, guys, it's a 25-minute video walking you through all the details and steps to my #1 trading strategy. Anyway, so let's get into the market updates today, guys, and let's actually get into what's going on with the good old stock market and what's going on from here. So let's go and start with the stock market, and we'll go through the other markets as well too. So, alrighty. So let's go into the good old Dow Jones first. So the Dow Jones, right? So what's happening with the Dow Jones right now? The Dow Jones right now is at enormous, crazy bull market moves. Now, one thing that's so important to understand about these markets is the markets here are crazy to the upside. This is not the right time to be trying to guess, gamble, because the problem with this is abnormal, right? This is abnormal to the markets. And what's going on right now in the markets is that it's not normal price movement, okay? We are definitely going through an enormous move in the upside, enormous move on the upside. And this is the wrong time. This is the wrong time to try to be thinking that, okay, I'm going to jump in right now because I'm going to see another big leg to the upside. It's just something, guys, that if we have a look at where the market is, what's happening right now, this has just gone just crazy, okay? Crazy move to the upside. Now, the big thing here, okay, the big thing here to understand is that there is going to be a likelihood of seeing some sort of a snapback or some sort of a pullback in the markets. We just don't know when that's going to be. Obviously, we're in a crazy euphoria move right now. And the dangers of what's happening right now is that a lot of traders are going to be thinking, this thing's not stopping, I better get in now before I miss the move. And it's whenever that starts to happen, it may be happening right now the last couple of days. Whenever that starts to happen, then guess what? That's when people start to go backwards, right? Because then they buy the high, they sell the low, right? If you've been trading for a while right now, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about there, right? Buy the high, sell the low, and so on and so forth. So what's going on right now with the overall markets is that this is just crazy move to the upside. And if we're just looking at your trading career, right? If you look at your trading like over a long period of time, right? If you think about this, okay, I want you guys to be in the markets for a long period of time. I've been trading the markets now for 19 years. Next year will be 20 years for me. A lot of bad mistakes in the markets. Okay, a lot of bad mistakes in the markets. And one of the biggest mistakes that I made was not understanding the rhythm of how markets operate and how markets work. And what I mean by that is that I'm talking about how when the markets seem to have a really big move to the upside, when they have a really big move to the upside or a really big move to the downside, we think that that's going to last forever, right? But if we just look at the way the markets operate, how do the markets operate? Okay, the markets operate by having swinging motions, okay? We always go through swinging motions. And if we ever go through a period of having a big move down, we eventually have what? A bit of a sharp snapback in the markets, right? So what's happening right now is that there's a lot of people that's really starting to get sucked into the markets. And if we have a look at this fear and greed index, because this gives me a bit of a gauge on where are we right now in this overall swing of things. Now, by the way, guys, I really do believe that this move that's happening right now, this move here that's happening right now, is indeed the start of something pretty major, right? But we're not in a I'll get to that in just a minute. Okay. This is so important to us as sort of individual traders. I don't use it to actually trade, but it gives me a bit of a gauge on where we're at. We're not even at the extreme greed yet. Can you believe that? Like, one thing that really shocks me about this fear and greed index is that normally it starts to give you a bit of a warning sign, right? But if we see here that we're not even at the extreme greed yet, okay? We are not even at the extreme greed yet. And so that tells me that as much as it sounds crazy, it's like this could actually have a lot more upside to come. It's like, whoa, right? Whoa. So we still could be having a lot more upside to come out of the markets from here. Because the thing is, guys, is that just, again, once looking at this level here, whenever we start to get to these above this 75 line, we start to get to a bit of a toppy action in that move. And I say the move because it's not like the top of the markets. And then we have this move down here around 25. Okay, around 25, and that's when the market generally starts to get to the extreme fear. Which, as you know, when people are fearful, the market's probably going to go up. When people are greedy, the market's probably going to go down from there. And so that's basically what I'm seeing from there when it comes to what's going on right now with this fear and greed index. And the reason why this is important is because it really gives us some gauges, right? It gives us some gauges and some guides of what's going on right now in the market. So the crazy thing is that we still could actually have some more upside to come out of this market through here. But the big issue with that is, guess what? The big issue with this one here, and actually, you know what? There we go. Right, now you guys can see it. Right? The big issue with what's going on right now on the Dow Jones is that we've already made a very, 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 very big move up. So a lot of traders are probably going to try and start to get into this end of this sort of move from here, right? They're probably trying, if we do have like a little bit more move to the upside, there's a very good chance we're going to start to see some form of a pullback in the markets. Right, some form of a pullback. And when I say pullback, guys, it's not the top of the markets. Okay, we're not at the top of the markets, but we are in a phase where there's starting to be a bit of greed. We've already gone up a lot. And as you know, right, like in history, that there comes a point in time after the market's gone up a lot, that guess what? We end up getting that pullback or maybe even a sideways phase before the market starts to or continues to go in that direction from there. From the Dow Jones perspective here, really haha, I can see the chat box now. I love it. We're back. Do you believe the big up will be followed by a big down? Aiden, I just saw your question there. By the way, it just appeared on my software. There you go. Anyway, a big up by a big down. The answer is just understanding the flows of the markets, right, Aiden? So if we understand the flows of the markets, if I let me bring up this software here for a minute. If we understand the flows of the markets, right, Aiden, how does the market work? It goes up for a while, and then what do we do? We either go sideways, or we go up and we get a pullback, and we go up and we get a pullback, right? That's how markets operate. That's how they do work. Unfortunately, a lot of traders get into this point here, or they try to buy it here, or they try to even buy it here, and they may capitalize a little bit more upside, and then we end up getting the pullback. So the problem with that is that what you're saying there, Aiden, is that yes, there's a very good chance we've had a very big move up. So there's a very good chance we're likely to get what's called a pullback, right? It's either two different things here, right? It's either two different things here. All right. Firstly, it's either scenario number one, which is we just start to go sideways for a bit. What is that? What is that? How good is that? Alrighty. That's pretty cool. All right. So we either go sideways for a bit. Okay. Because once again, whenever we make very big moves up, this is called an energy. Whenever we are moving in a direction, the market is using energy, right? This is again, guys, this is something that's taken me a long time to understand when it comes to trading the markets. But whenever the market is moving in a direction, we're using energy, okay? Whenever the market is not moving strong in a direction, we're either going through a pullback, which is like this phase here or this phase, or even this phase here, right? It's not really going up or down, but we're just going through these phases. This is more like a reset or an energy building phase, okay? And when we go through these energy building phase, after a while, then after it's refueled for a while, we're building a lot of energy to go for another move up, right? So Aiden, the answer to your question there is that we're likely to go sideways. Now, it may not be now. We may have a little bit more upside, and then we go sideways from here, right? Because guess what? Remember, when the market has a very big move up, as the market's moving strong up or strong down, it's using a lot of energy, right? We're using a lot of energy. Then we need to go through what? A period where it just goes sideways, or it has what's called a pullback, where we just go like that, have a bit of a drop, because the reason why it drops like this is because it's now going through what's called a pullback phase. A pullback is against, so we have a very strong move up, and then we have just a little bit of a pullback. This is also known as a reset. A reset or an energy building phase to get ready to go again, right? To either get ready to go again through here or get ready to have another move up from here, right? And that's when we see, once again, when we see the markets flowing, we get this sort of up, and then it has a bit of a pullback, bit of resting phase, then it gets going again, and then it may go sideways for a bit, and then it gets going again, right? And that's where, like, these periods through here, this is the periods for me, is what's going to cause you to have a much higher win-loss ratio, is waiting for these periods here first, and then as the market starts to pick up through here, as the market picks up through here, that's when you're going to have a much more likelihood of having a successful trade, where most traders are getting in up when the market's already made a big move, aka what's happening right now, right? So if we have a look at what's going on, if we can see this through here, a lot of traders are trying to capitalize on this move up. So we may even have, if I zoom in on this one now, right? I'm using this software here. If we may even actually have a lot more move up like this, right? Because we just never, whenever the market's in these exuberant euphoria phases, we just never know when this is going to happen, right? We just never know when the move is going to happen. That's always the hardest thing. But when it does happen, that's when it catches people off guard, right? So the whole thing about this is that trading is all about probability, right? We've probably heard about that. So waiting for the market to have a very big move first and then trying to get in is lower probability. Even though it may go like something like that, we may then end up doing something like this really quickly, right? For about a week or two, right? Something like that. Now, it doesn't mean that the market's crashed, right? It's just we're actually expecting something like that, right? So understanding the flows of the markets. Once again, understanding that after a period of time when the market goes up, it's either going to go sideways to reset, or when it goes up, we're either going to get a pullback to get going again, right? And this is understanding the flows. So because we understand we get this and we get this after a period of market going up, like here and like here as well too, after the market does that for a while, we're actually expecting, we know how the markets operate, so we're actually expecting this phase to come, which would mean that there, right? So it may be now, or it may be, maybe sometime, maybe next week, maybe we start to go through this maybe sideways phase, or either we go through more of a dropping phase where we pull back, if it's up there, where we start to pull back. We measure from the low to the high, and this here, would be around about what's called the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. And this is just a normal correction. The problem that happens with these very big moves to the upside is when it does do this, right? When it does this, and by the way, guys, in this free trading course, I really dig deep in part 2 and part 3. I really dig deep. There's about 4 or 5 videos there going through a few hours, really digging deep into the chart reading side of things so you can understand what's happening. So you're not surprised when things happen, right? So for example, when we start to get this sideways period through here or a bit of a drop in the markets, you're not surprised by it because you're actually expecting, because you're like, okay, yeah, well, I was expecting this to come. So that's, so Aiden, my man, to answer your question about what you just asked me, do we believe this big up will be followed by a big down move? So the answer is there's a very good chance we're going to have a big, could also just be, as I said, just a nice healthy correction before we then go for another very big move. And so that's all it is maybe a down move is also known as a pullback. Now I've done this here fictitiously because it may continue up from there and then continue down from there. And can you see the SPY going to 436 before going up? The SPY going to 436. What's going on there? All right. So yeah, guys. So I'm just looking at that there. So that's the Dow Jones. That's the Dow Jones there. If we have a look at the Nasdaq, right, and we start to look at the Nasdaq, this is the Nasdaq right here. So the Nasdaq here is really starting to have another very big move to the upside. And just remember, guys, whenever we do get these very big up phases, okay, just don't take my word for it. Just look at the way the market operates, okay? And that's all we want to do. We just want to understand what's going on in the markets so we can just make much better decisions. So we can have at least a bit of a much more higher odds on our side of having a successful trade, because that's what we want, right? There's no move up from here to here. Guess what ends up happening? We end up getting what? We end up getting what? Look at this here. We end up getting a bit of a sharp drop, don't we? A sharp drop. Now this drop can either turn into just a continuation of the bull market, or it can turn into something else, right? But that's what we need to do there. So we can see through there. So if I draw a parallel trend line and I draw this from here to here, as you can see, look what's happening. We've pretty much gone up apart from a week or so here of the market not doing much. And so therefore, guess what? Now we're expecting, oh man. Now, because we've had such a big move, now we're expecting that sort of a correction, pullback, but it's not a top in the market, I don't believe. I think it's just more like a bit of a pullback before. It's like a reset phase, a resting phase, and then away we go again from there. So that's the Nasdaq from there. Let's go look at the S&P 500 as well. And we can actually see what's going on in the S&P 500. Same for the S&P 500, right? It really is making some massive headway. As you can see here, we definitely need, there's actually an area of resistance where we are now, right? To where we are through here. So there is a lot of areas of resistance all through this point through here around the 4,700 level. Wrong one. All right, so around the 4,700 area, we're definitely having a lot of issue around the 4,700. And so there's a lot of resistance through here. And as you can see what actually happened today, look what actually happened today. Right, you can see that, you can see how that it actually had a very strong move to the upside around the 4,700 level. And then it's actually paused right now. So once again, this actually could be that last little final push in this overall move before we start to see that pullback or that correction and so on and so forth. So Let me answer that question there. Was it Sandra? I think so. Saharaj? I think that's how you pronounce it. Can you see the SPY going to 436? Let's have a look at the SPY. Going to 436 first. Before going back up. 436? No. Oh, there's actually a very low probability. I believe we're likely to see a bit of a pullback. So close to all-time high. What if we may crash? But I definitely do believe we're going to get a pullback. So looking at this move through here, I doubt we're going to see a 436 level. Like that's all the way down through that 436. Nah, I don't believe we're going to see that because we've already had a very big move to the upside. If we have a look at the Fibonacci level from the low to the high, that is a 50% Fibonacci level, but that's actually a pretty big move down there. We're pretty strong through here. So I would probably say I would probably say maybe even around this level through here is probably where if we do get some sort of a pullback, it's probably going to be through there. It's probably going to get through there as that resistance level, right? But again, all it is what? Is just a bit of a pullback first, right? Which is like maybe just a bit of a pullback like that first. It may even get down towards maybe near the 440 level, maybe if it has a very big pullback. But I think this is the start of a very big bull move, right? Now remember, the differences between a bull leg and a bull market is two different things, right? Let's actually draw this here. Let me bring this over here for you. So the differences between what's happening right now, a bull move and a bull market are two different things. A bull move is what we're seeing right now. This is just woof to the upside. But a bull market consists of higher lows, right? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. All right, we understand that. But once again, what does that actually mean? It means after a period of time, we get the pullbacks or a little bit of a drop first before we get going again, a little bit of a drop first before we get going again, possibly even a sideways phase before we get going again, right? That's a bull market. What's happened through here is that we haven't even created a higher low yet. So with that, what do we see, right? With that, that means that because we've actually had down a lower high through here, and now this is just basically one very big up move through here. This is a bull move, but not a bull market yet. Okay, now I'm just talking about this sort of chart here. So what we need to see is what? We need to see a bit of either a sideways period or a bit of a drop first, something like this, and then we can start to do what? Create that higher low. And then the bull market starts. This could just be the very first leg in a very big bull market. Right? This could be the start of a very big bull market. But this is just the bull leg, not a bull market yet. We need to see a higher low first to really start that bull market there. The issue with what's happening right now is that if we keep going vertically like this, if the market does really go vertically like that, then there's a very good chance we're going to see a very hard drop in the market. Hypothetically, if we do fall back to the 52 MA, do you think it will hold for another push upwards? I actually do think that, yes. I actually do think that. I really do. Only because this whole move is so strong to the upside that if we get a pullback like that, the 52 starts to come up like that through there, we may even do something like that and then get going again. Like that's what may even, and then the 52 by the 52 comes up through there. So let me draw that again there. Right, so as an example here that I'll be watching for, Aiden, 1 minute. Let me show you this here. So the example that I'll be seeing here is if the moving average continues to go up like this through here, then we may only even just do something like this. Come down through here, may do something like this, and then maybe get going again as well too. So that's what we may even get as well too from the overall markets from there. So that's the big thing from there, guys. Our traders, if you haven't, I've just totally remembered as well too. I've got 2 spots left, guys, for my 12-month coaching program. Go to getjohnshelp.com to apply for my private coaching. Every single day, guys, I'm coaching you and showing you what I'm doing in the markets. So that's what I'm seeing through there. Which again is very dangerous because there's a lot of people now starting to come in the markets, and there's a lot of people going to get hurt, right? Now, I do believe, like, I actually had 2 long trades this week, both beautiful trades. One was a stock trade, one was a futures trade, both beautiful trades. So I'm actually in a long setup, but it's all based off a system, right? And once again, guys, like, it takes me a bit of time to walk through the system. If you want to learn the system, grab that free trading course. It's here, johnsfreegift.com. And as soon as you put your email address in to get the free course, not only do you get the free course, but the very first video you get is me walking you through exactly what the system is, so you can learn what I'm teaching you. I'll give it to you for free. But the thing is, guys, is that where we are right now is like, look where the Russell is, a very big gap up. I don't actually have, this is just crazy moves from here, right? Crazy moves. So once again, if the Russell is going to start to really break up and out and start to make a very big move up, guess what we're going to see, right? We're going to see some form of, some form of a higher low, right? We're actually going to start the bull market. So let's actually do this. Let's actually do this here. Let me take a screenshot of this here, right? So we're probably going to start the bull market from here, right? From there to there. So the bull market will be what? So we've been going sideways for a while. If this is going to be the start of a bull market, we may even have a bit more of a breakout to the upside. And then maybe we get like maybe we get something like this. Then it starts to do something like this, comes down like that, maybe down through here for a while. And then we start to see the bull market, right? Because right now, what could the Russell be? This here, as you can see, is what? Is the exact same thing that happened here, the exact same thing that happened here, right? So this could just be a repeat of what happened in the past. See how we actually, and then what happened is we got a drop down, but we actually didn't create any higher low. Big drop down, no higher low. Same thing through here. We had a move up and then another move down. So the Russell really needs to what? Start the bull market. And that's what I was saying before. Just because we have a strong leg up, like a bull move up, does not mean that we have started to see an actual bull market, right? We need to see the higher low first. Now, if the Russell does pull back through here and we start to see, as I said before, we start to get that pullback and maybe even through here and then we start to break out. That's when it's just like, here we go, right? Here we go. So please put them in the chat box there, guys, and I'll make sure that I answer them while I'm doing this live. If there's anything you guys want to, the dollar seems to be currently having a negative correlation with the markets, but that also includes gold and silver. You think if the market snaps back, gold and silver could do the same? Maybe, maybe not. And the reason why I say that is that they're both different markets, right? They're both different markets. The stock market as a whole has made an extraordinary quality move. So if I bring this chart up through here, right, this chart through here, this chart here, the top 3 charts, the Nasdaq, you can see the big writing, right? The Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Dow Jones. You actually can see that, let me bring this over through here. I'll use this as a screenshot, right? So I can use my Dubulaki tool, right? You actually can see how that the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq have all made very big moves up, right? Very big move up, very big move up, right? We talked about that already. So looking at that is what? Now we can't say that, right? The stock market may pull back and gold and silver have another move, because gold did have a move up and then we had a pullback. Silver had a very big move up and then we had a pullback. So, and we had a drop in silver. So we're seeing these overall moves happening in the markets right now, where the stock market has made a very big move up, but silver and gold have actually haven't done much at all. So maybe if gold and silver do actually pull back from here, and maybe if gold and silver does actually maybe maybe if the stock market does pull back soon, or we start to go through a sideways period, maybe gold and silver actually have a very big move up. I wouldn't try to put the correlation between the stock market and gold and silver, because as you can see, they're both completely different things as well too, right? And even like this is gold here, right? But this is the GDX here, and this is the GDXJ through here. So this is the SIL here, and this is the SILJ from here as well too, right? So they're all doing different things from here. So we just want to apply this simple analysis to the individual markets to make a decision from there. I think that's the best thing to do from there. Can you do TA on gold company? On a gold company I'm heavily invested in, please. Sure. Dollar NFG, newfound. Let's have a look at newfound gold. You're heavily invested in it. I wonder why that is. NFG Corp. Is it NFGC? So that's that. NFG Newfound Corp, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, they both look very, very similar, don't they? Yeah, they both look really, really similar. So looking at this level here is, and looking at, let's actually do this here. Let's bring you back over. Let's make sure you're in the screen there. Cool, right? So I'm guessing this is the one you're looking at here. Let me bring it up on my trading view to see if there's anything on my trading view here. NFG stock. Is that the same one? I'm pretty sure it is there. Newfound Corp. Yep. I'm pretty sure this is the one that you're talking about here. Yes. NFG. So the big thing that you're heavily invested in it. I wonder why you're heavily invested in this one. It's a very big question there. The reason why I say that is that, firstly, we're actually trending down right now, making lower highs. So we're actually in a very big downward trend right now. If we go to this chart here as well too, which is the weekly charts, we're actually in a very, look at this, we've been going down overall. We had a very strong move up, but we've been going down overall from that point from there to there. So this movement on the downside from here is actually not looking good, because if we break this level here, which is the major support level, this looks like it could actually have a move on the downside. And we're just we're continuing to step down, right? We'll continue. So for a trading opportunity, remember trading is short term. For an investment opportunity, I can't really say. Investments meaning you're going to hold it for many, many years. I don't know anything about the company individually. And even if I go down to this chart here, it's the same thing, right? Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So that's what I'll be saying through there when it comes to that level from there to there. Let's just do something here. So I hope that makes sense from there. Let's see if okay, cool. All right. So that's what I'm seeing from there. Big gold discovery in Canada history. Oh, okay, cool. So I just saw that there, WMC. We can see that just because it has a big gold discovery in Canada doesn't mean that's going to eventuate into something now. You know what I mean? Like it may take 2 years for that discovery to actually start to happen on their balance sheet. So that's always the big thing. If you think it's like, oh, it's had a big gold discovery, therefore people are going to start to invest in it now. Right now, the investors of this stock have been just selling this off. Now obviously, that doesn't mean that's not going to go up next time. That's not going to go up, moving forward into 2024, 2025. I am a very big believer, though, that we are going to see a very big move from 2025 onwards in the mining and metal sector. From now to then, I'm just not too quite sure, but I believe after the election, we're about to see some really, really, really big movements. So that's what I'm seeing through their traders. So once again, traders, if you haven't done so yet, got 2 spots left for 2024, 12 months worth of coaching. You're coaching every single day and you see what I'm doing in the markets every single day for all of 2024. GetJohnsHelp.com. Go apply for that, guys. And I'll personally call you. So Aiden says, nailed this gold, silver trade, especially with the US falling into an unavoidable recession. Maybe. Right now that's definitely not happening, is it? Like now, right now, when an unavoidable, it's really weird, right? Because everything seems to be, the thing is, Adrian, it may be avoidable, right? It may be avoidable because it may be avoidable. It may be avoidable for, but will the trade be on? But will the trade be on once people fall out of risky assets, stock market? Yeah, the problem with that there, Aiden, is two different things. One, right? We may go through a recession, but it may not be as bad as you think because the Fed has already stopped and already thinking about doing cuts and all this sort of stuff. So, yeah, we may even start to slightly get into a recession and they turn the printer on and we don't really go through the big recession that you're talking about there. Okay. Also, but would the trade be once people fall out of risky assets? Who knows when that's going to be though, right? It may be 6 months from now that actually happens. We may be getting ready for a very big bull market in the overall market itself, right? So that's always the hardest thing about that there. Whenever I'm trading the markets or even investing in the markets, I want to have some sort of probability that what we're doing here is this. I don't like to be guessing. I want to have massive probability that what I'm investing in or trading in is going to work for the long haul, right? For me personally, and I was talking about this with my private clients today because I'm with my private clients every single day. And once again, if you click on that second link in the description or go to Get John's Help, you can apply for it. But I'm with my clients. I'm with some of my clients every day. Every single day when the market's open, right? For an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. And the thing about that is that I was actually talking to them about that today, is that we're going over the trade that I took this week. Actually, 2 trades that I took this week. And the point is that we just look for the same thing over and over again, right? We're not trying to guess, if the recession happens here, then silver's going to go up, so I'm going to trade silver, right? Because let's just say Aiden, let's just say, for example, you are right when that happens. Let's just say you trade gold and silver right now, because you think once people get out of the stock market, if the stock market does start to go down, then silver and gold goes up. Let's just say that does happen, Aiden, and you spend all your time doing the research and you make $100,000 doing that. You actually do that. The big issue with that there is that how can you then go repeat that again for all of next year? What, you want to be lucky again? You want to be able to get lucky again? Or you want to have some sort of probability, right? Because if you do that, then how is that a system that you can repeat for the rest of your life? And this is something that I was talking about with my private clients today, is I was saying, as you can see, guys, it's all the exact same thing. Whether it's the stock market or these other markets, it's the system that I trade anyway. It's all the exact same thing, all right? And it becomes a predictable process that majority of the trades you actually get into is going to actually do quite well, right? And there's a few trades that there's 2 trades I've done this week. One was AMWD. This one here, in on the breakout and so on and so forth. And then I did a futures trade as well too. But the whole thing is like this is based on a system that I trade as well too, guys. It's nothing special, right? It's all the exact same thing. I don't like to guess. I don't like to gamble or something like that. I want a massive high probability that I'm going to do well in the markets. And if it doesn't do well, I want a really high probability that I can get out with a small loss. So that's all I sail from there. Who cares if we get a 5% pullback to see 30% upside? Jonas, we hit extreme greed today. Maybe on the intraday basis, didn't we? Intraday. Not yet. No, we didn't actually quite hit it yet. So we almost got there. We definitely got to, because extreme greed is above 75. Maybe you're right. Maybe it actually did spike up and then spike back down. Maybe that's what you're talking about there. When it comes to that, that market's from there, right, guys? And so traders, one of the things I really want to talk to you about, and again, guys, make sure you go to johnsfreegift.com to apply for my coaching program. One thing, with my private clients, one thing I always like to do, guys, is whatever I'm trading the markets. So say, for example, we had a trade on AMWD. One of the big things, guys, that I like to do when trading the markets, right, is I always like to be trading with the higher time frame trend, right? With the higher time frame. And so what I mean by that is that if I'm trading the daily charts, I always like to look at the weekly charts, right? So this is the weekly chart here, right? Remember, if you guys have watched this session from majority all the way through, I've talked about markets in cycles, right? How they go in different cycles. So you can see here how this AMWD is the biggest. One of the things I can teach you guys is that to actually go with a very big, strong, a bull market, a very strong move in the markets based off that. So if you're looking to get in on the daily charts, in this example here, use the weekly charts here. Right, use the weekly charts so that you can be trading with that overall higher time frame there, higher low, and another higher low from there, from that perspective from there. So that's the biggest thing that I do say, guys, is looking at that level from there. And so let me get into some. What do you think about AADI? Let's have a look at that there. So yeah, trades based on just the last little thing there, guys. Whatever trade you're doing, look at that higher time frame, like daily, and then look at the weekly, and always be trading with that bigger time frame. If you trade the daily chart, look at the weekly chart, and make sure we're in some sort of a strong upward trend from there. Let's have a look here. Let's go look at, because that's going to give you the best chances of doing really well. AADI. What do you think of AADI? All right, let's have a look here. Let's go to, I'm going to go to this chart first. This is a weekly chart, guys, we're looking at right now. And AADI, this one right now is very strong on the downside. High, lower high, and now we're having another lower high. So we're actually in a very strong downward market from here. Very strong downward trend. Who knows when the bottom's going to be in? If the bottom's going to be in right now. If I go to my daily charts, we can see we're just sideways movements once again. As I was talking about with the stock market, right? If you guys have seen even my past update videos as well too, when the market goes sideways like this, when the market has a very big move, we end up doing some form of like this here as well too. And so looking at that, if I squeeze my charts up, this thing is, wow. This thing has just been beaten down ever since 2021, right? Down, 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 and it's still going down right now. So The market is still, this one here is, and who knows when this is going to end, but from what the big boys are doing with the stock, because that's who pushes this market around, they just keep selling it off, right? Lower high, 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 and another lower high, right? So they just keep selling it, and selling it off in the markets from here. So my thoughts are what's actually going on right now is that it just keeps going down. Every time we get these sideways movement, it goes for another drop, bit of a pullback against this downward trend, and then we have another drop from there. John, charts are looking wild lately. GameStop flirting with breakout. Let's have a look at that there. Let's have a look at GameStop. GME. John's GameStop flirting with a breakout to the upside on a 3-year downward trend. Good quarterly results helped, and Q4 is when they will make the most money. The big thing about that, Scott, is just because they have a really good earnings announcement does not mean the stock is going to definitely go up. Okay? So looking at this market right now as we speak, if I look at this weekly chart, right now as I speak, this market, the big boys have, this is still in, you say, flirting with a breakout. If you see this here, right, we are still in a very big overall downward trend from here. High, high, significant lower high, down, and this is just a small little up move. We would really need to see the bias, for this to be really changing the overall tune of this trend, we need to really see this thing break above 25. That would be the move to see this thing really start to change, because this could just be an up move before it drops. Okay, so just because something just because they make has a really good announcement does not mean it's going to go up. Okay, I'll give you an example of what I'm saying there. I was actually talking to this about my private clients as well too a while ago about this one example here. Okay, so let's look at this here. So where was it? Back here. Okay, so back here when Tesla, look at that through there, right? So when Tesla made this gap up, it gapped up and had this move up. Guess what actually happened that day? What happened on that day is Tesla came out with an incredible earnings report. Record number of profits, earning, cars sold, you name it, okay? Tesla actually had a really, really, really good earnings number. But then suddenly after a period of going up for a bit, it dropped on people really, really, really hard. Really dropped on them really hard. So the thing for me when it comes to that is that you never want to just get into a position based off the earnings number. Because just because something does make a good profit does not mean it's going to go up for that week. We may end up going down for a month and then maybe it goes up, right? So there's a lot of guessing with, it's going to make money, so therefore the stock's definitely going to go up. Not necessarily true. The investors can sell it down. So going back to GameStop now. We're still in a very big, strong... Yeah, look at that through there, right? Still in a very big, strong bear market from here. In fact, like for me personally, Scott, is that if we start to get some sort of a strong move down, like looking at this level, let's actually... So looking at this here, is if we get something like this here, something like that happening in the markets, I'd probably be looking to have a move back down towards the lows down here, down towards... I know this doesn't sound... It sounds crazy, right? But this is probably going to have a move down to $4 if we do get something like that happening, right? Like a big down move from here, because we are in a big downward phase. It may be a bottoming pattern as well too before we start to make a move up. But right now, all we see here is a very strong move down. And then now we've actually just got this pullback through here. So this could be getting ready for either a very big strong move up, and therefore it's a bottom. You can't tell if it's a bottom right now straight away, or we end up getting another big leg to the downside. John, can you briefly explain your trading system or give an example? Thank you for your advice and comments. Appreciate it. This is what I want you to do, okay, Aiden? If you really want to learn my trading system, firstly, go get this trading course for free, okay? Put your email address in. The very first video you get is a detailed video walking you through step by step. It goes for about 20, 25 minutes, and it goes through step by step, Aiden, of exactly what my trading system is, what I actually look for. When I'm looking at the markets, I look for my trading setup, not on some other thing that I think may work, right? So and the reason I'm saying that, Aiden, is because you can watch that video again and again and again and again, and you can repeat it to actually help you from there, from that process there. VIX analysis. I saw you mention it hasn't been this low for 4 years, give or take. You think when the market starts to freak out. So if I bring up, let me bring up, where is that through here, right? Let's go back to the VIX from here. Right, so this is the VIX from here to here. So yes, so generally what happens is as the market starts to have a bit of a cooling off period, and the reason why I mentioned that, Aiden, is because that's giving us a bit of a warning sign that, hey, we haven't been this low for a while. There's a lot of greed starting to, starting to come back into the marketplace now. So that's the reason why this is important from here, is that if we see what the stock market's doing right now, it's had a very big move up. You're expecting to see some sort of a sideways movement, or at least a drop in the markets, because it's how markets operate. And then also seeing the VIX where it is right now, you start to put those together like, okay, we're starting to become really overextended, and we're likely to get that pullback from there. So that's why it's about the VIX there, Aiden. Talk about the gold market. The gold market. Let's have a look here. I'll just use this. Just use this chart here. So the gold market for me, I believe we're getting ready for an incredible breakout. It may not happen now. I don't know definitely when it's going to break out. But when it does, I believe gold is one of those markets that's really likely to see some incredible big moves in the markets from here. And that's what I'm seeing from this gold market here. So really big moves that I do see coming in the good old gold market from there. Alrighty, traders. Well, that is it for me today. 2 different things, guys. Once again, firstly, to learn my trading system and all that sort of stuff, guys,